Hi, this is Usman Sheikh with the EcoHub team. I'm here with Santiago Becerra, CEO of white hot startup Melmo. Welcome, Santiago.
Thank you, Osman.
We've heard about mobility in the enterprise for quite some time now. What do you think has changed? Why is now the right time for companies to embark upon using mobile devices in conjunction with their business?
Well, I think it's kind of the perfect storm where all the elements have come together at the same time. Because in the past few years, mobility was very focused in connecting people to people through SMS, voice, and email.
So, your flagship product is the Roambi. Roambi or Rombi? How do you-
Roambi.
Rombi.
Yes.
Rombi. So tell us a little bit more. I've seen it. It's fantastic looking on the iPad. It's a very fantastic demo. Tell us a little bit about what does Rombi do?
Well, Roambi essentially allows users to consume data on the go in a very easy way, where you really don't have to make a lot of effort to find it or to understand it or to interpret the message that it is giving you. And we did that by using several things. First, creating really the best possible user interface, forgetting about everything that was done in the PC and addressing the needs of a smaller device and also of the new interaction with touch gestures and the like, and really pushing the limits of innovation with the new computing power we had to do animations and graphics. So there's a lot of depth in what we did. We spent several months just in the conceptual stage thinking about if we had never had computers ever, and this was the first opportunity we had of a computer in a small screen, how would we represent that data? What would be the ideal way so we were not influenced by paradigms of the past that don't apply anymore? What we try to do is to borrow from successes of other industries. And really, in terms of user experience and UI, the gaming industry has been leading the way. Indeed. Way ahead of enterprise software. If you look at the interface of a game and the speed of interactivity, the amount of information that is being transferred to the user in a split second, and the amount of interaction that goes back and forth, and then you compare it with a traditional business application where you have to roll your thumbs waiting for the next screen to appear, you feel that like you're in two different worlds. So two different worlds that ironically don't communicate with each other. So we try to borrow the best of different areas, and we decided early on, since the Excelsius Day, in fact, to bring some of those concepts, and we did it by hiring people that came from the game industry. In fact, one of the founders came from the game industry back in Excelsius, and now in Roambi we apply the same paradigm, and that gives us a tremendous advantage in terms not only of the interactivity and animations, but on one thing that tends to be a little overlooked in mobile devices, that is the performance. Because to get the right performance, you need to optimize to levels that you don't need to do when you're working on a PC. But when you're working with a smaller processor, you need to do a lot of optimization work. Let me show you. That's probably the best way to do it. So let me show you how it works. This is Roambi. This is the icon. So when I launch the application, it basically shows you a manager that includes all the reports that have been downloaded to the device. For example, I have a sales by region report. And this comes from a traditional tabular form that is automatically converted into this visualization. So it makes it a lot easier to consume and to find the information. You have one card per store with all the results for that store included in that card. So I can move it to my desktop and where I can analyze it. And then if I want to compare it with another store that I know is really the leading store in that area, to use it as a benchmark, I can just double tap to expand the desktop and I have both side to side. They scroll in synchronized form so I can compare them. For example, in the first chart, we're showing the sales, and you can see that the benchmark store has higher sales. So as I move this cursor, then an alert turns from green to red to show the comparison if it's higher or lower. So I can continue to analyze why am I getting lower sales, and I can look at the number of customers that the other store has been able to bring, and so on. So I can uncover best practices, find, for example, that this store on the right has a lot of interesting results that have not probably been shared with all the other stores. So I can just scroll down where I find the contact information for the manager, give them a call, put them in contact, and ask the other one, hey, go and spend a couple of days learning from your peer what they're doing better to have those results. So that's an example of one of the formats. We have multiple visualizations that are geared to different needs. Another one is, for example, the trends. And this is a visualization that is focused on analyzing trends. On the left, it shows the different KPIs. In this case, we have sales by regions and sales by product and other types of statistics. And with the alerts, it shows which KPIs are going well or which ones are not. For example, if I see a red here, I can just tap that particular KPI and it brings the trend. If I want to see exactly the numbers, you can see that it's declining, so that's why it's red. But if I just move the cursor, it shows the exact numbers for each one of the data points. It also has this zooming control at the bottom. So this is a series with, I think, about 1,000 data points. So if I want to focus in the more recent trends, I can grab this control and zero in, and it would zoom the chart into this trend. I can also scroll in time, so I can perform a lot of analysis that with a static chart is much more difficult.
So it zooms in and provides, you can set different parameters and zoom in on those.
Absolutely,
parameters.
absolutely. You can also, you see the yellow line is a trend that is calculated by the system. And you can change the algorithm with which those trends are calculated by selecting from this menu. You want to use exponential formulas or polynomial or just moving average. You define how many data points, for example, the moving average for 90 days or 90-something days, and it calculates the yellow line. So it has a lot of analytical capabilities, but at the same time, it's a very intuitive interface.
Santiago, thank you very much for coming. Great to hear your vision. Wish you all the luck with your company and your products and continued success.
Thank you.
Take
Appreciate
care.
the invitation.
Okay.
Take care.